Naseem Hamed, aka Prince. The first on our list is Prince Naseem Hamed, a British boxing superstar from the 90s. He had a record of 36 wins, 1 loss, and 31 knockouts, and held the WBO featherweight world title for years. But stats barely scratched the surface, because this boxer entered the ring like it was a dance floor. And I'm not even kidding about that. This man did backflips over the ropes, danced to the ring like he was at a party, and then knocked people out like it was nothing. Despite fighting in the featherweight division, he carried himself with the swagger of a heavyweight. Hands down, chin up, and dodging punches with pure attitude. Sometimes it looked like he was breakdancing instead of boxing, but here's the weird part. He made it work. He would taunt world-class fighters, stick out his tongue, drop his hands, and somehow still land a knockout punch. It was like watching a magic show with gloves on. For Naseem, boxing wasn't just a sport. It was a full-blown performance. Ricardo Mayorga. Next on the list is Ricardo Mayorga, without a doubt one of the wildest and most unorthodox world champions boxing has ever seen. He hailed from Nicaragua and was a world champion in 2 different weight classes with welterweight and light middleweight. Ricardo won the WBA and WBC welterweight titles and shocked the boxing world when he beat big names like Vernon Forrest. His final record was 29 wins, with 23 of those wins coming by way of knockout, 9 losses, and 1 draw. But people didn't remember Mayorga just for his titles. They remembered him because he was unpredictable, like really unpredictable. Before fights, he would smoke cigarettes, and sometimes right in the middle of press conferences. That's right, a world champion boxer smoking in public just days before stepping into the ring. And he didn't stop there either. He would eat burgers, chips, or even drink soda in front of his opponent, acting like he didn't care about his weight, training, or even the fight itself. Mayorga also loved to mess with people's heads. He would say some crazy things just to get under his opponent's skin, and he wanted them angry and off their game before the bell even rang. And when it came to defense, Mayorga didn't seem to care at all. He'd stand still, drop his hands, and stick out his chin, daring his opponent to punch him. Sometimes he got knocked down, and other times he just laughed like it was a joke. His fighting style was wild too, because he didn't throw normal punches, but he threw them from strange angles like he was a street fighter. He didn't care about clean boxing. He liked to brawl, and he looked like he was just having fun doing it. During fights, he would yell at the crowd, wave his arms, and even argue with his opponent in the middle of a round. The ring wasn't just a place to fight for Mayorga. It was a place to put on a show. Even when he lost, fans watched just to see what he would do next. He may not have been the smartest or most skilled boxer, but he was definitely one of the wildest. And that's why Ricardo Mayorga will always be remembered as one of the weirdest and most entertaining champions in boxing history. The Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is one of the most well-known heavyweight champions in boxing today. He's extremely tall, standing at over 6 feet 9 inches, and has a long reach, which gives him a massive advantage in the ring. Many fighters struggle to deal with his size, but what really makes Tyson Fury different isn't just how big he is, it's his strange fighting style and his loud, colorful personality. In the ring, Fury doesn't fight like most heavyweights. Instead of just relying on power and size, he uses his height and reach to control the distance. Sometimes he even fights with his hands down, which looks risky and unusual because most boxers keep their hands up to block punches. His movements and posture often look odd, but for him they work and they make him very hard to read. Fury also moves in ways that surprises people. Big heavyweights usually march forward and try to overpower their opponents, but for Fury, he often moves backward or sideways. He doesn't follow a set rhythm. He might move slowly for a moment, but then suddenly explode with fast punches. This stop-start style confuses opponents and throws off their timing. Outside the ring, Tyson Fury is just as different. He's loud, outspoken, and full of energy. He talks a lot in interviews and often says surprising, funny, or even strange things. He doesn't act like the serious, quiet boxer people expect. Some find him weird, but many find him entertaining and real. Fury is also known for being very honest about his personal struggles. He has spoken openly about mental health issues, depression, and other challenges that he's faced in life. Not many boxers are this open, and it's something that makes him stand out even more. People respect him for sharing his story and showing strength in a very different way. All of this, including his unusual fighting style, his loud personality, and his honesty about personal struggles, makes Tyson Fury one of the most unique and interesting champions in boxing history. Hector Macho Camacho. Camacho was a world champion in 3 different weight classes. He had an impressive career with 79 wins, 6 losses, and 3 draws, but what really made him stand out wasn't just his skill, it was his fun and flashy personality. Before every fight, Camacho made a big entrance. He didn't walk into the ring like a regular boxer. Instead, he came dressed in wild and colorful outfits. One time he showed up dressed like a Roman soldier. Another time he wore a crown with a bright red costume. He loved shiny clothes, animal prints, and anything with tassels or long strings. His entrances looked more like a fashion show or a party than a boxing match, and the crowd loved every minute of it. Inside the ring, Camacho was just as exciting. He was lightning fast, always moving, and never afraid to show off. Sometimes he would make silly faces or smile during a fight. He'd even mock his opponents, dodging their punches and laughing while doing so. He liked to make people miss just so he could show off his speed and style. He also talked a lot, both before and during fights. His catchphrase was, "It's macho time," and he'd shout it like a superhero. Some people thought it was funny, others thought it was too much, but Camacho didn't care. He was having fun, and that's what mattered to him. Even though he was full of jokes and flair, he was a serious threat in the ring. He was hard to hit, fast with his hands, and smart with his moves. His funny tricks often confused other fighters as they didn't know whether to stay focused or get annoyed. Camacho wasn't just about winning. He wanted people to enjoy the show. Every time he fought, fans looked forward to what crazy outfit he'd wear and what fun things he'd do in the ring. He turned boxing into entertainment, and that's why so many people still remember him today as the weird but fun boxer. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is one of the most successful boxers in history, and one of the strangest. He retired with a perfect record of 50 wins and 0 losses, but what really makes him stand out isn't just his skills in the ring, it's the wild, over-the-top way he lives outside of it. You could say he lives like a rich cartoon character. Let's start with his bodyguards. Floyd doesn't just walk around with 1 or 2 security guys. He has a whole team of giant bodyguards who look like they could lift a car. They're so big, people joke that he looks more like a president or celebrity than an actual boxer. Now let's talk about the money, because Floyd loves to show off the money. One time he posted a video of himself taking a bath in cash. No bubbles, just stacks of money. Another time he walked into a store, dropped $1 million in cash on the counter, and walked out like it was nothing. For him, spending money isn't the weird part, it's how he spends it that turns heads. His shopping habits are just as strange. Instead of buying 1 watch, he buys 10, all at once, just in case. He owns over 100 cars, including several Rolls Royces that are all the same color. Why? Well, only Money Mayweather knows. And get this, he flies in not 1, but 2 private jets. One for himself and the other just for his luggage. Yeah, he has a plane just for his bags. And of course, he doesn't carry them himself because he has people to do that for him. Some would say that's a bit much, but for Floyd Mayweather, it's just normal life. One of the weirdest things about him, though, is that he doesn't wear the same socks or underwear twice. He says he throws them away after just 1 use. Every day, it's a brand new pack. His closet might be the size of a small house just to keep up with that habit. Oh, and he even travels with his own personal barber, just in case he wants a fresh haircut at any moment. Imagine waking up in a hotel and calling out, "Barber, I need a trim," and then someone just shows up with scissors ready to go. So yeah, Floyd Mayweather isn't just undefeated. He's also one of the flashiest and weirdest champions of all time. He doesn't just win fights, he lives like a movie character, and for better or worse, people can't stop watching. Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner is a boxer who has won world titles in 4 different weight classes. Now, that's a big achievement, but people often remember him more for his strange behavior than his boxing skills. Broner doesn't act like most fighters. He acts more like a rapper. Before some of his fights, he walked out with sunglasses on, pretending to rap along with his own entrance music. One time, he even brought a full dance crew to the ring. It felt more like a music video than a boxing match, and people weren't sure if they should cheer or stare in confusion. He also had a habit of showing off money in the weirdest ways. In one video, he threw cash in the air like it was confetti, and then in another, he actually flushed a $20 bill down the toilet just to prove he was rich. When people asked why, he just laughed and said, "Because I can." For many fans, that kind of wasteful attitude was more annoying than cool, but Broner didn't stop at pretending to be a rapper. He actually tried to be one. He released songs, made music videos, and even used the rap name AB. Most of his lyrics were about money, fame, and fighting, but let's be honest, he's a much better boxer than musician. He is also known for saying wild things during interviews. Sometimes he calls himself the next Floyd Mayweather, and then other times he claims he's better than boxing legends, even though his record doesn't really back that up. One of his most famous lines came at a press conference, where he yelled, "I'm the can man. Anyone can get it. African, American, Mexican." People laughed, but no one was quite sure if he was serious or just trying to be funny. And then there are the post-fight interviews. After one win, instead of talking about boxing, Broner grabbed the mic and said, "I'm going to party tonight and maybe make some babies." The crowd went silent. Even the interviewer looked confused. It was one of those, did he really just say that moments. Broner's behavior outside the ring has gotten him into trouble too. He's missed weight before fights, skipped training sessions, and posted strange videos online. In one clip, he filmed himself eating junk food just days before a big fight, clearly trying to annoy his coach. So while Adrian Broner has talent, it's his wild, over-the-top personality that makes him one of boxing's craziest champions. Barbados Joe Walcott. Now, this one takes us way back, all the way to the early 1900s. Let me introduce you to Barbados Joe Walcott, also known by his wild nickname, the Barbados Demon. And believe me, he earned that name every time he stepped into the ring. Walcott stood only 5 feet 1 inch tall, tiny by boxing standards, but he fought like a wrecking ball. He didn't care how big his opponent was. In fact, the bigger they were, the harder he came at them. He didn't back down. Instead, he ran straight at them, fists flying, ready for war. In 1901, he became the world welterweight champion and held the title for 5 years. That alone is impressive. But what really made him different, even a bit weird at times, was how he fought. Walcott didn't dance around or dodge punches like many boxers. No, he charged forward like he was in a street brawl. Fans watching him would ask, what is this guy even doing? And just when they thought he'd get hit, boom, the other guy was laying on the ground. He once knocked out a man with a single punch, and the whole fight lasted under 30 seconds. He just walked up, threw one punch, and that was it. The ref looked like he didn't even have time to blink. His arms were short, but somehow he still managed to land powerful punches from crazy angles. And the best part was that he wasn't scared of anyone. One time he fought a man over 6 feet tall and still went toe-to-toe with him like they were the same size. There was even a fight where the ring literally broke during the match. Now, most boxers would stop, but not Walcott. He just kept swinging like nothing ever happened. It was like he didn't care about the rules or the condition of the ring. He was there to fight. Simple as that. Outside the ring, he was calm and respectful, but once the bell rang, he turned into a storm. So yeah, Barbados Joe Walcott might not be a name everyone knows today, but in his time, he was one of the most unique and weirdest champions boxing had ever seen. Sebastian Fundora. The last fighter on our list is one of the strangest champions in boxing today, Sebastian Fundora, also known as the Towering Inferno, and honestly, that nickname fits him perfectly. Fundora stands at a towering 6 feet 5 inches tall, yet he fights in the super welterweight division, a weight class where most boxers are way shorter. He looks like someone stretched out a featherweight into the body of a heavyweight. But what really makes Fundora different isn't just his height. Most tall boxers like to stay on the outside, using their long arms to jab and keep opponents away. Fundora does the complete opposite. He steps right into the danger zone, fighting up close where punches fly fast and there's no room to breathe. Instead of playing it safe, Fundora trades punches in tight spaces. He throws uppercuts and hooks like a much shorter pressure fighter. His style is exciting, but it's also risky because it leaves him wide open to getting hit, and he does get hit. In fact, in many of his fights, he's taken a lot of punishment. One perfect example was his fight against Erickson Lubin in 2022. It was a wild back and forth battle, and Fundora got dropped, but instead of backing off, he came back even harder and ended up stopping Lubin by TKO. That fight showed just how tough and determined he actually is. He took heavy shots but kept moving forward like a machine. Fundora has held the interim WBC super welterweight title, proving he's not just a strange-looking fighter, he's actually a real threat in the division. His combination of super tall body and close-range high-pressure fighting is something boxing fans rarely see. So whether you think he's wild, brave, or just plain weird, there's no denying that Sebastian Fundora is one of the most unusual champions in boxing today.